Welcome to another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host, Derek Stevenson. Guys, reporting back from the second game of the Global Jam, Kentucky had another impressive victory over Canada, 92-69. And I'm trying not to jump on this bandwagon. I'm trying to stay neutral. I'm trying not to get excited like I did last year so that I won't be disappointed. But the Cats are making it hard on me because they just doing everything that I was hoping and praying that this 2023 class would do. And I want to play some audio of Calipari, what he said after the game. And it was very interesting because I feel like he may have been, kind of taking some shots. I don't know if it was, directed at former players or if it was kind of directed at some of the fans, because, a lot of people are starting to doubt Calipari. And I feel like he may have been trying to, in a subtle way, let everybody know that he's back. Because he kind of basically was sentimenting the idea of, I really didn't have the pieces the last couple years. So I kind of just did the best I could. And now I got the pieces. So I'm about to put everybody on notice. So let me play this little audio clip for y'all real fast, and then after that, we'll get into some highlights of the game.
But I told him I got a really smart team, and I got a bunch of basketball players, not decathlon or volleyball. These dudes play basketball. And so I can open up the court and create space. And I don't have to run stuff to get a shot. We can play like my teams have always played. So we're having some fun.
Now, tomorrow's a rest day. Are you going to give them some rest, or is that a practice waiting?
We're practicing at Drake's.
Ah, okay. And then I just saw you.
He's on tour, so he's not going to be there.
Yeah, so y'all got to let me know what y'all think about that comment in the comment section. But, yeah, I took that as him saying, these last couple of years, he ain't really had the type of players that fit his offense. Because, everybody, we get on, including myself, we get on Calipari's offense, especially because sometimes we see certain players, like last year, we saw it with Chris Livingston, just kind of didn't really look like he knew what he was doing out there. Kind of picked it up a little bit towards the end of the season, which is what kind of made me confident that he might have got picked in the first round. Obviously, we know he got drafted really low. It was like 58. But, over the last couple of years, we've seen some guys that just kind of seem a little suspect. And, in the beginning of the season, when they was playing in the Bahamas, they were playing free. They looked like they knew what they was doing. And then when the season started, things kind of fell apart. And I think Calipari is basically trying to tell everybody that I got the type of players that I like to coach, the guys that fit in my system. And I don't have to, basically, it sounds like he's saying he doesn't have to babysit. He doesn't have to hold their hands and walk them through things. Kind of seemed like he was basically saying, I have the athletes, the type of ball players that are just elite ball players, and they can go get it done. I can tell them what to do, and they can make it happen, and I don't have to run all of these plays to get people shots and to try to work around their low IQ, sort of. I think he feels confident in these guys that they're going to make the right plays, and they're going to hit shots, and they can create. And I've never really seen him this confident with a young team for a while now. Mostly he usually comes out in the beginning of the season and makes all of these excuses before stuff even starts happening. He talks about how young the team is and how many mistakes they make in practice and all of this stuff. And it kind of almost annoys a lot of the fans because, it kind of comes across used car salesman-ish. But he's kind of talking these guys up. So let's get on into these highlights and we take a look at their second impressive victory of the Global Jam against Canada.
Couple of crossovers, can't get free. Nice pass to Mitchell. Reverse layup, good. Tracked by time.
And see, just right off the bat, like I think that's kind of what he was kind of alluding to with, so that comment that he made where it just seemed like he's just confident that these guys are just going to make the right play. And one thing that I pointed out in the first game that I like about Mitchell is Mitchell just kind of seems like he has a good grasp of where the openings are in the offense. And he just kind of seems like when he sees like a player may get trapped or might be in some trouble, he kind of knows how to make himself available for a pass. He can slip behind some defenders and get some easy buckets. So that's one thing that I like about Mitchell a lot. I know everybody's impressed with his shooting, but I like the fact that he kind of seems to just know how to feel his way around the court and make himself available for our guys. I've been waiting for my guy Dillingham to do his thing. And, I feel like Reeves is going to be the key to our success. Like, the way that I felt like last year, like, Casey Wallace had to be the leader, I kind of feel like this season we're going to have to look for Reeves to take over, to lead the young guys. The young guys are super talented. But I think that as talented as they are, they don't seem to have big egos. They seem to get along. They seem like the type of guys that would take, being led by an upperclassman and just try to learn and get better. So I feel like if Reeves can take over this team and be a dominant, All-American-ish or even SEC first team type of player, I feel like the Cats can go far. I think it's up to Reeves and Mitchell to take over as far as the leadership role and to help the young guys grow and progress and keep them focused, keep them, keep them even keeled. Don't let them get too emotional and just help them along the way. And I think we could be really tough.
Second bucket, back out front to Reeves, around to Dillingham. Dillingham attacks, can't get by his man, out to Shepard. His three in the air. Good.
And another thing I like about the Cats already is basically, we got to look at Shepard, man. The first game, it was like, basically it was Reeves, Mitchell, DJ, sort of played the best, Adu. Then you come back the second game and you got, Reeves, Shepard, Justin Edwards leading the way. Adu doing his thing as normal. Reeves doing his thing as normal. But I like the idea that we don't have to necessarily depend on one person to score all the points all the time. We don't necessarily have to force feed the ball to one or two people every game. It seems like we got a lot of guys that on any given night can, pick up the slack and raise their game. Rob Dillingham only had like 6 points, but he had 8 assists. I think Reed Shepard had like 14 points. Edwards might have had 16 if I remember correctly. So I like that already they're showing that, they have a team and it can be anybody's night. And depending on the circumstances, they just going to move the ball around and give it to who's open, give it to who's hot. And I really like that already. Let's get back to it, though.
And that is shoot the basketball. Out to Dillingham. Turns down the three, moves in, kicks to Reeves. Open three, left wing.
And see, already I like that. I like that Dillingham is willing to pass the ball, right? In high school, that's probably a shot that he would have took just because he's the man on his team. So he makes one move, gets around his guy, he's looking to score. But he's becoming a truer point guard already. He knows that he has, a lot of capable guys playing with him. So he doesn't seem to have any problem whatsoever just giving the ball up, making the right play. So I'm really enthused with how good these guys are seeming to play with each other already. But I like to see the team chemistry and how they just moving the ball and it just goes to where it's supposed to go. Nobody's forcing it. It's just finding the right guy and they making the right plays.
That extra pass. Dillingham with 12 on the shot clock. Over to Thiero. Left corner Wagner. Wide open. Pulls the trigger. There you go. Good ball movement.
Good ball movement, just like he said. And I really like Thiero been finishing strong around the basket.
Edwards on a backdoor cut, gets into the lane and scores.
And then they just reversed it that time. Thero fed it to Edwards. Edwards played a whole lot better this game. He might have been a little nervous the first game, just had some jitters, but he made up for it this second time around. Played real well.
Back to Wagner, dribbles right, hands it to Reeves, turns down the three, comes into the circle, steps back, 18-footer good.
See, I feel like the dribble drive is going to work well with this team because you're going to have the combinations of you're going to have four guards on the perimeter that all seem so far to be capable of getting stuff done. You're going to have Reeves leading the way, followed by DJ, Edwards, Dillingham, and Shep. And I just feel like them guys are going to be able to beat people off the dribble. They're going to be able to get to spots. And if they get cut off, they're going to feed the ball to the wings. And you're going to have a whole bunch of guys that's capable of scoring. So far, DJ has shot the three ball pretty good. Justin Edwards shooting it decent. Shepard shooting it good. Trey Mitchell shooting it good. And who knows, when Aaron Bradshaw comes back, he could potentially be another decent shooter out on the wing. So I like the idea of, how these guys will be able to fit into Calipari's offense.
Passed up the three-point shot to get to the open free throw line area. At his right hip, puts it above his head now, and it's stolen by Shepard. The pass to
Shepard played real well. I think a lot of people slept on Shepard. A lot of people didn't think his ranking was, they thought he was overrated. I'll say that because he was hanging around. At one point, he was ranked 15th in his class, and he slid down into the 30s. And I'm not sure exactly where he ended up at, but Reed Shepard's the truth. I think he was ranked right where he was supposed to be, and he's showing it. Like, he looks like he belongs out there. Dillingham with a nice little move off the dribble. See that? They just, like I said, they just all look sure of what they're doing. They feed each other real well. They always looking for each other, and they seem to not make a lot of mistakes. One thing that's always hurt Calipari's teams is when he has a really young team in the beginning of the season, they make a lot of mistakes because they try to do too much. And I'm talking about all of the super guards that we done had. John Wall, Shea Alexander, Fox, Ulis, all of these guys. In the beginning of the season, it was like they still thought they could play the same way they did in high school. They could run through 2 or 3 defenders. And they made a lot of turnovers. But for some reason, these guys right here just seem to be a whole lot more careful with picking their spots. They're not forcing the ball as much. They just moving the ball and making the right plays, and that's a really good sign in my opinion.
Three, yes! Boy, that's big. Himself gives it to the trailer, Dillingham, left side Wagner, three, good.
And they just got a lot of guys that can play multiple positions. It's got a lot of versatility. They just get the ball where it's supposed to go.
Dillingham throws it left side to Edwards. He'll shoot a three and hit it. 3 of them tonight for Justin Edwards. He's got 16 points. Dillingham goes to work, spinning in the lane. Out to Reeves. Reeves penetrates, pull up 15-footer. Yeah. Hits it just ahead of the shot clock buzzer. Off to Dillingham.
I do think right there Dillingham was doing a little bit too much, but that's Dillingham, man. That's why he's known as Rob with the shifts. Like he's a dribbling machine, and when he learns exactly how to beat his man with the least amount of shifts, he's gonna be deadly because he's got all the ball handling moves in his bag, but he just needs to learn, I think, when to hold some of them and when to hit somebody with some of them, because as soon as he figures out how to make his move with the least amount of effort, he's going to be nice because he's got everything that he needs. But he just needs to learn that he don't have to hit somebody with 3 to 5 moves every time. Just give him 1 or 2 and up, and he'll be much better off once he learns that, I think.
Sprinting up the left side, going for the bucket, dumps it under to Burks. Burks makes
Even Jordan Burks, he been playing pretty good too. He might be one of the ones that kind of gets lost in the sauce a little bit, but he actually been doing this thing too. Reeves' confidence is on another level. Reeves is playing this year like I thought he was going to play last year. But man, if he plays like this, he could potentially end up being drafted. He might get in that first round if his confidence stays like this, and he's able to do this in Power 5 conference play, and if he leads these cats somewhere, I'd even be happy with just getting back to the Elite Eight. But if he was to lead them to the Elite Eight or the Final Four or the championship, I mean, if he's playing like this, if he's doing this every night, they would have to give him a strong look in the first round, I think. But man, it's hard not to get excited, guys. But I am getting excited. I totally agree with Calipari. The last couple of seasons, it kind of feels like, and I'm not being disrespectful on purpose because I know this is going to come off disrespectful, but I feel like a lot of these players that we had over the last couple of years has kind of been somebody's leftovers, guys that, they weren't really a part of what was going on at the schools that they had before. And they ended up at Kentucky and was probably playing a little bit over their head as far as, the competition level. And that's why I think Calipari is just saying, like, I got ball players this time. Like, these are like elite ball players. So, yeah, I kind of agree. I think he finally has a squad of guys that seem to play the way he needs them to play for his offense. So we gonna watch Calipari closely this year. We're gonna see what happens. I haven't paid attention to any of the other teams out there. I know we ranked 15th. So, there's some other teams that obviously that are projected to be better than us. But I don't want to make too many excuses. I feel like Cal got what he needs. And when he gets the big guys back, hopefully we can shore up the defense in the paint a little bit. And we should be ready to make a little noise. I at least want us to do our thing in the SEC for sure. We need to reestablish dominance because the last couple of years, it's kind of been going back and forth. Kentucky been in the hunt, but they're not really the dominant team no more. We got the Alabamas, the Arkansas, the Tennessees, so we got to take back a hold of the SEC like we supposed to have, and this could be the group to do it. So anyways, you guys let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to tell me what you feel about Calipari's comments that he made, if you agree with him. If you think it's just more used car salesman stuff, let me know, and we'll get back at it next time on Sports and Discourse with Derek Stevenson.